What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, Mike from NYC. We are back with the reactions. Here we're reacting to my experience dating Andrew Tate. Let's see what you got to say.
Hey guys, this is Kazumi, and on July 11th, I went on an e-date with Cobra Tate on Aiden Ross's stream.
We're on a date in front of a lot of people. Are you nervous?
No, I love to put on a good show in front of people.
That's an interesting thing to say. How do you put on a good show in front of people?
I can't show you here.
Of course you can. Show us.
No, you can't. Oh, no. She can't. Trust me.
I actually had no idea who Cobra Tate was before the stream. I did a little bit of research right before I went on. I thought he was just a boxer, but apparently he's also some type of red pill misogynist, possible sex trafficker. I don't know. I got a lot of messages after I did the stream about the type of guy he is, and I just wanted to let you guys know I definitely do not approve that message. And I feel like it's hard for men to believe that a woman like me would not be into whatever Cobra Tate is preaching, which is a little embarrassing because obviously I went on the stream and I was simping super hard. When they told me Cobra Tate was a date, I was so excited because I love bald men. I would love to lick your bald head. It was also super duper funny because the e-date got cut short because I actually had like my fake pregnancy bump and I was ready to tell him that I had his baby. And I also wrote Cobra Tate on my feet. I'm glad that didn't air, but I just wanted to let you guys know, personally for me, I care a lot about my audience, and I know for the most part my audience is men, and I just really worry sometimes about your guys' role models, and I totally don't agree with whatever Cobra Tate is doing.
So when I hear that, I really care about you guys continuing to subscribe and pay me money. You know, over $2 million in OnlyFans, over $2.5 million in OnlyFans revenue. I really care about continuing to keep my revenue high, and I'm really concerned about who you guys are listening to that may deter you from being machines in my cogs in my machine of being an OnlyFans model. I'm really scared that if you guys listen to Andrew Tate enough, I don't think you guys will be down so bad that you guys are gonna subscribe to my OnlyFans. And I'm honestly fearful that you guys might actually be picking up what he's putting down, because my content is so wholesome. I'm a adult actress, and you know that isn't one of the most detrimental things in the society today, especially in America. One of the most addictive things, one of the most mind-altering things, one of the most cancerous things that you can put your eyeballs to. That's just perfectly fine. But what Andrew Tate says about becoming a top G and getting it out the mud and doing the work and being a high status male, that's extremely detrimental. That's toxic. But being an adult actress and getting people to pay money because they're extremely addicted to what you're doing, no, that's fine. So I'm just really concerned that you guys may be deterred from continuing to support me in something that is detrimental to you. So I just want to get on here and tell you guys, please continue to support.
I don't want you guys to give this man any more of your money, your views, your dollar signs, or whatever. I
don't want you guys to stop giving me money.
Super hypocritical coming from a girl like me who obviously says stupid shit on camera to go viral all the time. However, I don't believe that anything I do is actively harmful because everything I do is for the enjoyment of you. And I also want...
Hey man, I gotta say whatever I gotta say to sleep at night, to save face. I'm gonna bash this man's content, so I gotta say something to justify what it is that I do. Hey man, I'm just doing this for you guys' entertainment. I don't think what I'm doing is really that harmful, because the majority of marriages are broken up because addiction to adult films. But what I'm doing is really not that harmful. People are spending money that they don't have to support because they're extremely addicted. But you know, it's just entertainment at the end of the day. You know, hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Mention that I am an entertainer. So is Cobra Tate, and I totally understand that sometimes saying the most ridiculous thing creates a lot of fucking views. I just feel, personally, the way he's going about it is extremely harmful to his male audience, and is creating like an incel community where you guys are just circle jerking each other off and believing that everything he says is right.
She's looking in the mirror right now. She's literally talking about herself. That is the type of content that she does. The type of content that the type of people that heavily indulge in adult content are people that are gonna be more comfortable within being an incel community. That is the majority of the incel community, people that are heavily watching that type of content. So she's really just exposing herself right now. She's talking about herself. Andrew Tate is actually trying to wake people up and say, hey, like, you know, you don't have to do what they tell you to do. Hey, you could actually do what you want to do. Hey, if you actually put the work in, you can have a level of success. Hey, don't be a bot. Hey, wake up.
I believe that some things he says, especially about your self-betterment and feeling self-fulfilled, is totally correct. However, I obviously think his opinions about women are wrong. One of his most viral clips,
his videos about women are basically saying that women who are promiscuous are essentially the reason that everything is wrong in society. And me being what you would deem as a promiscuous woman, I'm obviously going to disagree with that because that doesn't put me in the best light. Regardless of whether or not it's true, I think that it's toxic and I think that he should be canceled. And I think that he's a bad person because he's saying something that goes against what I want people to believe. And though I profit heavily off of it, I think that is wrong. Though there's so many things that go wrong in the industry that people have talked about, you know, I don't really want to discuss that because that's not in my best interest. And so because Andrew Tate talks about things that are against me, I think that he's toxic and I think that you guys shouldn't listen to him. I don't think you guys should give him an open ear. I think if you guys listen to him enough, I think your brain will start to actually agree with him. That's not good for me.
Is saying that women should have their body count on their foreheads.
I think 99% of the world's problems would be solved if females walked through life with their body count on their forehead.
Coming from a woman who obviously and loudly has had a lot of bodies, that is the stupidest shit I've ever heard of. First of all, if body count matters to you, find out as soon as possible.
What quicker way to find out what somebody's body count is if it's on their forehead? If you actually believe that. If you actually believe that if body count matters to you, you should find out as quickly as possible. If it was on their forehead, that's as quick as it gets. We don't even have to waste that time.
Definitely don't be with someone if you feel like their body count is something you can't agree with. However, should women be defined by how many people they let in them? Absolutely not.
Should you be defined by the decisions that you've made in the past? I mean, I think so. I think if a man is a broke adult, I think that he should be judged, or he should be judged is maybe the wrong word, but that is indicative of who they are, right? If somebody is, you know, past, you know, a certain age and they don't have certain things going on, you can make certain assumptions about them. Maybe they lack discipline, maybe they lack motivation and ambition. If you're a woman who has a lot of body counts, maybe if I'm a spiritual person and I believe that, you know, the body is a temple and that, you know, sex is sacred and you have over 500 or 1,000 bodies, maybe I just think that our values don't align. So should you be judged maybe as a human? Should I be condemning you and stoning you?
Get the rocks.
Yeah.
Abdul?
Yeah, get the rocks.
Get the rocks.
Because of your body count? No. But should I be judging what type of relationship we have, or if we have any type of relationship based on your body count? Possibly. If I'm somebody who's just trying to be out here knocking things down and I see a girl with a 1 on her head, I know that that's not most likely her MO. Sex is most likely a sacred and valuable thing to her. If I see a girl with a 500 on her forehead, oh, I'm definitely trying to knock that down 100%, because it's not a thing that I have to work for. It's not a difficult thing to obtain.
Value, or honestly anyone's value, should not be quantified by how many people they have sex with, especially when we're having sex with people like you who are men. And if you are bothered by a woman's body count, why are you even thinking about other men while you're with another woman? Sometimes when I listen to these,
so you see how she's kind of shaming, sounds like she's shaming men for having preferences when women's preferences don't get shamed. Why would you think about a man's height? That's so weird. Like, who cares about a man's height? Why would you care about how much money a guy makes? That's so weird. Why would you care about this other thing? That's so weird. Women's preferences don't get shamed. But if a man has a preference, it's insecure, it's weird, it's odd, it's condemned. But because the preference isn't in alignment with what you want, right? I don't see you bitching about the fact that men have a preference of being with women that are beautiful, because you're, at least I would say, you look pretty good. Like, your face, like, you look pretty solid, right? But I don't hear you complaining about that preference. You're complaining about the preference that doesn't benefit you. Obviously, that makes sense. That's what a human will do. They're going to complain about the preference that doesn't suit them. I don't hear tall men complaining about girls liking, well, I don't really hear men complaining about any of women's preferences, but I don't hear people that are in a certain preference complaining about that preference. I don't hear you complaining about the fact that men like younger women necessarily because you're a younger woman, or that a beautiful woman because you're physically attractive. I don't hear you complaining about these things, but the things that don't benefit you, obviously you're gonna have a problem with.
Podcast, I kind of wonder, like, do you guys like women at all?
I only talk to virgins. I'm not sitting here talking to some bitch who's been fucking railed by some Joe Schmo.
I don't know about you, but I would much rather prefer a girl with a Gok 3000 who knows how to suck dick, who knows how to ride, who is sexually open, versus someone who doesn't have that experience. And if
So you're telling your preference based on what would be more beneficial to you. You're saying that, oh, I would rather be with a girl that's experienced because you're experienced. But you're not talking about the other side of, okay, well, if she's been with 500 men, she probably doesn't value sex that much. That says a whole bunch of other underlying things about her. You know, the likeliness that she'll be more promiscuous in the future, and that increases, the more people you're with, the more that increases your appetite and it decreases your ability to satiate that appetite. But that's not the things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about, oh, the Gok 3000. That's the things that we want to talk about. Well, we don't want to talk about the other side of the coin. We just want to talk about the side of the coin that we want people to pay attention to validate us and to keep us high. But we're not going to be genuine in the things that we're talking about. Me personally, I would rather have someone who can do the Gok 3000. Okay, sure. I mean, I guess that's valuable to some people. But if you're gonna have a meaningful relationship, if she got 1,000 bodies, I'm like, no, thank you, bro. And some girls will be like, oh, you still living at the crib? Cool, I'm not mad. I'm not bitching about that. I'm not complaining about that. Good for you. Like, okay, cool, but we shouldn't be condemning people's preferences and then boosting our things that is preferred in us to make us look better. Because basically you just said a girl that's inexperienced shouldn't be preferred, or that you would prefer somebody who has more experience because that suits your narrative.
Not a woman who is less experienced. Have you ever asked yourself why? Once you're out of high school and the women around you become more mature, you'll realize that girls don't want assholes. They want people that treat them with respect, and that's not really a hard concept. I feel like oftentimes incels feel a type of entitlement to women, and they fail oftentimes because they are missing the key thing that women want, or what people want, which is emotional intelligence. Women want people who makes them feel understood. Women are also attracted to confidence. And what isn't confident is caring about a body count, is caring about what she wears, is any of these other things that a man claims is wrong for a woman, but
it's not necessarily saying that it's wrong, it's just not my preference. But because I care about it, you're gonna take a shot at my confidence. But if I were to say that about you, oh, you like dudes that look handsome, what does that say about your confidence? That's your preference. That's your preference. If you have a certain amount of bodies, to me, you're unattractive. If I have pimples on my face and I'm unkempt and I'm out of shape, and I'm ungroomed and no style and no verbal game and not very smart, that's unattractive to you. So why are you shaming me saying, oh, because I care about body count and what a woman wears, that means I don't have confidence?
Okay for a man. If you want to find a woman who is all these things that Cobra Tate says is a high value woman, then for sure. But you'll find soon enough that she is not a high value woman at all. Even if she claims that all the things that you demand of a woman are things that she wants to do, that is a woman who definitely does not respect herself enough to make her own choices. Whether you like it or not, you want a woman who is hopefully smart and independent. And if you don't, then I don't think you want a woman at all. You want a fucking fleshlight.
So if you have preferences and you see somebody that you deem is high value and they align with those things, then they're not really high value. How would that sound if let's say I was talking about other men and like, oh, if you're a girl and you think a guy that makes a lot of money and is tall and is charming and is good with words and you think is good looking, if you think that's high value, they're not actually high value. And actually they're being toxic, and actually they don't really want to be all of those things, and actually that's kind of lame. Like how would that sound coming from me? That doesn't make any sense at all. At all.
Tell you guys, like, I just think you guys are better than that. I seriously believe that the men.
I hope I can gaslight you into not really looking at the other side and staying focused on this side. I hope I can really trick you and speak lies to you and say a whole bunch of nothing to get you guys to continue to support and continue to be on this channel. When you actually look at her channel and the videos on her channels, it's literally just talking to simps. Like, every video is like simp this, simp that, right? Because she knows that that's her audience. And she understands that Andrew Tate is actually a threat to that.
Audience are smarter than that and can wake up from this new wave of red pill doctrine that is kind of corrupting our generation. We are in a world where social media is the primary way we connect with each other, and memes are propaganda. And the more memes you see about a guy, the more you start internalizing that this guy might be an important guy. I would know, because I do the same fucking shit by getting on a lot of podcasts and making sure that I'm in front of your face as much as possible. But I want you to start questioning the material you get. I care about men, and I want men to wake up and realize that that is a bad guy, and all he wants to do is take fucking money. And
so not once have I seen anything about Andrew Tate trying to take my money. I don't really know what he's, I'm not saying he's not, I haven't seen it, but she's an OnlyFans model. So basically she's talking about herself. She's just projecting at this point. I want you guys to wake up and stop sending him your money. That's literally what you do. That's literally, you literally exploit men's loneliness to profit. The only thing I've seen about Andrew Tate taking people's money is that he had a course about how to make money, because apparently he has a lot of money. And he's willing to teach and offer how to make money, which would be nothing but an improvement to your life. But her type of content that is literally nothing but detrimental, and we want to compare content. Tell me how that makes sense. I want you guys to wake up and stop giving him your money. She's talking about herself. She's literally projecting. She's literally profiting off of people that are lonely. And Andrew Tate, his content is empowering. You're sad, like, okay, lock the fuck in, like, wake the fuck up. This is it right here. And obviously the more and more you listen to Andrew Tate, the more and more that, you know, he motivates and empowers and says, okay, you can do this, you can do that, you know, how to be a high value man, how to high status this, whatever. It's obviously going to deter you from watching her type of content. Her whole community, she's talking to simps and incels. And that's not me guessing. That's literally who's in every title. That's literally who she's talking to right now. She's talking to simps and incels. And she is pleading, please don't watch him. Please deter from his content, because if you listen to him enough, you might turn away from me. Please, I'm pleading with you. I hope that I can gaslight you by saying that you guys, if you do listen to him, you guys lack confidence. And if you do listen to him, I'm implying that you're dumb by saying that I hope you guys are smarter than that. But you can't tell me one thing, you can't tell me one empirical thing that he says that is other than jokes. Like, I see some of the things he says as jokes. If you can't really tell the difference, then that's on you. But a lot of things that he speaks seriously about, you can't really tell me one definitive thing that he says that isn't at least in an attempt to be an additional contributing member of society and help men. While her content, adult content, is literally all detrimental.
Totally aside from whatever allegations he actually has, I think men need to understand that if a role model has shown you time and time again that he is a bad person, then it means he's a bad person. There isn't any amount.
How can you call somebody a bad person that you don't know or never met? I can say that you're a bad person based on the content that you do. I think the content that you put out is worse than anything else Andrew Tate puts out. What your content does to somebody's brain is way worse than anything else. You're literally doing that type of content to gain monetarily. So I can say, just based on the content that I've seen from you, you're a bad person. Which I wouldn't necessarily do that. But I could say that based on your logic.
Clout that makes that worth it for you. I honestly beg of you. I want you to go, and I
beg you, please. Listen, I don't have no fucking valid points. I don't have no information. I just, please, guys, please keep subscribing to my OnlyFans. Keep supporting me, funding my lifestyle. Keep rotting your brain. Please keep rotting your brain with my content. Please, I beg of you. Please continue to spoil you and rot in your brain with my content. I beg of you. I didn't bring any facts to this video. I don't care. I'm just here to gaslight and get you guys to continue to watch my content. Please. Can you guys please do that? I beg of you.
Find women who subscribe to his message, and maybe they're agreeing with it so they could fuck you, because women are horny too and they also love validation.
So most women probably wouldn't agree with what Andrew Tate says because he holds women accountable, right? If you have somebody like Derek Jackson who's going to pander, it's going to make them feel good, whether or not it's true. And we all know that Derek Jackson is a fraud. I'm not saying Andrew Tate isn't a fraud. We just know for a fact Derek Jackson is a fraud, right? But they killed Kevin Samuels publicly, even though Kevin Samuels has probably helped a lot of women who are actually willing to listen. Andrew Tate has probably helped a lot of women who are willing to listen. So the majority of women aren't going to agree with Andrew Tate because he's going to hold them accountable. And I guess women as a whole, generalizing, don't necessarily want to be held accountable. So obviously they're not going to agree with somebody who holds them to the fire for the actions that they do. But you're not bringing any facts to the table. You're saying, well, I don't think you'll find anybody that agrees. So the fuck what? People are wrong every day. Just because most people don't agree, that doesn't mean that it's wrong. People follow shit all the time that's wrong. That's nothing to do with facts or information or bringing any facts. Just you're not bringing any valid points to the table.
They're going to disagree, and you're going to find out after rejection that you can't treat people that way or have expectations like that. The sooner you find out that women are equal to you, the sooner you'll realize the best way to get a girl and get laid is just to be fucking normal. The first step towards getting pussy is being happy with yourself, and you will also attract people who are secure within themselves. And as you grow and as you age and you realize that sexual exploration is a normal thing and that sex isn't a bad thing at all, you're going to end up a lot happier. And it doesn't make you a simp. It makes you a real man. I'm already having an uphill battle with having people want to listen to me and understand me because I'm a sex worker. Why does that mean I'm less smart if I have had consensual, safe?
Because people are seeing what you're doing as a bad decision, right? You don't judge I guess the fruit is the product of the root. So your lifestyle is a determining factor of your decision making. So you're somebody who was a self-made millionaire. They've taken certain steps to get to that point. And so if you're somebody that, if you're making these type of decisions, which I guess those people that you're talking about would deem those as bad decisions, because you may not be very inept or well kept spiritually or mentally or emotionally to be with that many men, then that's their right to think that, right? Andrew Tate he can speak from the place that he speaks from because of the results that he has. He can speak about fights in the way that he talks about fights because he's been a boxer. There's a certain level of respect that comes to the table when you've actually done the thing that you're talking about. If he's actually as rich as he is, he can speak about money in the way that he speaks about it because he actually has done it. So the fruit is only a product of the root. And your fruit of the decision that you make and lack thereof is the decisions of the root in the way that you think. So yes, when you talk, we're going to look at the things that are going on in your life because that is a exact correlation to who you are and how you think. And if the actions aren't leading up well, then obviously there's something missing, or at least from my point of view, there's something missing that I don't want to follow in your footsteps. If you're taking steps that I don't want to follow, then obviously I'm not going to listen to what you say. Because who you are, you're only who you are because of how you think.
With a lot of people that did not take advantage of me, people that respected me. Yes, because you can have sex with a girl who's had a lot of bodies and still respect her. I know the person I am, and I know inherently that the amount of sex I have with other people is not contingent on my value. I feel like when women start leveling with men like this, it's really easy for them to shut me down and say, well, you're a slut anyways, or I'm not here for this woke bullshit. And I'm here to tell you, it's not about being fucking woke. It's about learning how to go about society like a normal fucking person. The sexiest men who are most successful with women either having sex with them or long term are people who have a great deal of emotional intelligence and empathy for other people.
Basically, at the end, she was basically saying, listen, I know you guys think that he gets a lot of girls, and I know who my audience is, which is people that feel that they can't really get maybe as much as they want. And so because of who he is, you think, okay, well, if he is somebody that can get XYZ, maybe what he's saying maybe has some validity in what I'm trying to accomplish. So let me tell you that I know firsthand, and it's not anything that he says. It's emotional intelligence, and it's being nice. And what else did she say?
We're most bullshit. And I'm here to tell you, it's not about being fucking woke. It's about learning how to go about.
It's not about thinking for yourself and escaping the construct that is put around you. It's not about that. You should continue to just fall in line and continue to consume my content and continue to just be entertained and not necessarily do anything with yourself. This is not about that. Okay? That's not the relevant point here.
Society like a normal fucking person.
But it's about being what other people want you to be and not thinking for yourself. It's about being normal and doing what everybody else wants you to do. It's about falling in line and being obedient and not thinking for yourself, not having a opinion that is different or varies. It's not about going against the grain. That's not what you should do here. You should just be obedient, fall in line, and everything should be fine. You'll be normal. You'll be good.
Sexiest men who are most successful with women either having sex with them or long term are people who have a great deal of emotional intelligence and empathy for other people.